Welcome back. And lawmakers from the Northwest, which include members of the state houses of assembly, House of Representatives and senators from 7 states of the zone, gave their position today in Kaduna State, endorsing President Muhammadu Buhari for a second term in office ahead of the 2019 general elections. The lawmakers insist that Nigeria has witnessed relative peace, economic transformation and positive image before the international community under the leadership of the president, which makes him the candidate to beat in next year's presidential poll.
We are all here to garner support from Mr. President. We are already in the election year. And those of us from this part of the country, the Northwest zone, of course, which is the home zone of Mr. President, I think we need to set the pace. But I want to say that this is an unprecedented initiative meant and provided by what we call the young parliamentarians from Northwest. And the most important thing about it is these are serving parliamentarians, right from the grassroots. Parliamentarians at the local councils, parliamentarians at the state legislature, and those of us from the center coming to now solidarize with these people to assure Nigerians that those of us from this part of the country were standing solidly behind the President Muhammadu Buhari. And we are not doing this for any selfish reason. We feel the President is still the right person to continue. The President has set a lot of precedents that we wish him to consolidate on them.
There are some disgruntled politicians who do not want the change that is occurring now to create problems. They don't want that change to occur. So they are now in the habit of creating problem, bringing in crisis in order to blackmail this administration. But the long arm of the law is watching them, and they are going to be arrested very soon and prosecuted.
The Lagos State Government has disbursed a total of 500 million naira to Community Development Association CDAs to enable them complete ongoing self-help projects in their communities. During the presentation of checks, Governor Imo Ambode told the gathering that his administration will continue to support the associations to complement the state and local government's efforts at creating growth and development.
Hundreds of community leaders and representatives of 275 community development associations in Lagos State gather to see the fulfillment of an all-inclusive governance. It's about recognizing excellence and self-development efforts of the communities. Governor Imo Ambode hands out checks with amounts ranging from 1 million to as much as 10 million naira to the various community associations, depending on the size of self-help projects being executed. While commending the CDAs, Governor Ambode emphasizes the importance of voluntary community efforts in facilitating grassroots development.
Based on the report gathered from the routine inspection of community projects, the need for government intervention to ensure the completion of some of these ongoing self-help projects, which are on the verge of being abandoned due to scarcity of funds, has become very compelling. We strongly believe that these projects were well conceived and will impact positively on the living standards of residents in their respective communities. I know and I'm aware that projects ranging from community halls, street lights, transformers, police posts, drainages, health centers have been included in the grants that we are releasing today.
With the support from the state government, the CDAs pledged to do more.
What is happening today has never happened. I represented you to commission the road. It has never happened. A lot of things have been happening amongst our colleagues. We are grateful to you. But to whom what is given, more should be expected.
Gestures such as this, according to the governor, further show the state government's commitment to local government reform policy in making the 57 local government and local council development areas in Lagos State more responsive to the needs of the people.
And from Lagos to Anambra State, where several ongoing roads and bridge projects in Awka North, such as the 15.9-kilometer Okpuno-Orom-Amanuke-Achala Road alongside the 20-meter bridge project, are nearing completion. During an inspection tour of the project, the Imo State Governor, Willie Obiano, expressed satisfaction at the quality of work done and reaffirmed his resolve to completing the project within the next 3 months.
A large crowd greets the arrival of Governor Willie Obiano to the Osi Okwodu and main market in Onitsha. He has come to see for himself the extent of work done to rid the street of street traders and decongest traffic. The governor pleads with them to imbibe the right sanitation attitude and promises more incentives.
More importantly, I'm going to put street lighting on all the streets within 1 month.
The inspection team moves to other critical projects around the Agbaja, Abatete, Orauku, Alo Junction Road. The 2.5-kilometer stretch of road, when completed, will help decongest and divert traffic from the major roads in Idemili area. For these women, there is no better way to show how much grateful they are since the commencement of the construction of the 15.9-kilometer Okpuno, Urum, Amanuke, Achala roads.
This is a road that linked the whole Oka North, made up of 10 communities. And Achala, as a headquarter, was being cut off by this bridge.
It will improve on agriculture. It will improve on other commercial transactions around the area.
The governor also appears satisfied with the effort put in by the contractor.
This Achala section, we have completed the drainage and earthwork. The balance there is 2.3 kilometers. And they are ready for asphalting. I'm happy that Rasta has done a great work and that the bridge has been completed. They are just waiting for the curing, then after that they will do the asphalting on top of this bridge. But I've also told them that they will commence asphalting in less than 3 months. We must commission this road.
What these projects translate to is that the agrarian people of Oka North will have access from their farms to the market, improved economy, and a possible reward for giving the governor a second term in office.
In Bauchi State, the government is reviewing its forestry laws to check deforestation in the wake of a recent windstorm that caused massive destruction in the state. Contemplating the old environmental law has become necessary for both executive and legislative arms of the state government, who are worried over increased threats to the environment posed by activities of tree fellers.
After the devastating windstorm that wreaked havoc in Bauchi barely weeks back, it became obvious that the impact could have been minimal. The science of environment puts a link between human activity in the ecosystem and how the environment responds. This drive of over an hour from Bauchi metropolis to Bakal Forest brings us face to face with bare realities of a possible action that qualifies as an affront on the environment: deforestation through the act of felling trees.
I depend on this work to feed my family. I was able to meet my family's need during the last Salah celebration, all from the proceeds of the job. I feed and clothe my family from what I get doing this. If government insisted that I stop felling trees, then they should give me capital to start up a business.
What can be more complex? Medina is a restaurant owner who depends on firewood and charcoal as sources of heat to prepare food in commercial quantity.
It depends on how the food you want it. You know, maybe the gas, it may be just to cook indomie, but for it will not have the power to cook the jollof rice because we used to put it in the big pot. That's why we normally use firewood.
Activities of three fellas like Abubakar has been considered illegal by the government.
The phenomenon of tree felling in our forest must stop. Because yes, this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the intensity could have been reduced if we had not been cutting down trees in our forests. This storm must have started in the Sahara, and because there were no breaks, the only breaks were the houses. That was why it hit the houses very, very hard. So it's a complete devastation.
Bauchi State House of Assembly has also identified some grey areas in the old forestry law and is set to review it to meet contemporary challenges.
The reality on ground now has forced us with no situation, that we have to just make an amendment. Because what I have realized now, the permission, even to go into dealing with trees in our reserves and our forest, lies with the local government alone. I think the traditional rulers, and not only a village or district head, the emirs particularly must be involved. There is no better time than now for us to go back to the drawing board, to see the area of lapses in that law, and to see the areas of where we should chip in some new innovations so as we prevent our forest.
The conversation is on. The solutions are readily available. However, marching actions towards remain sacrosanct in stemming the tide.
And in neighbouring Kaduna State, a 7-year jail term has been set for convicted members of any unlawful group terrorising Kaduna State. Well, this announcement was made by the Solicitor General of the state in the wake of violence unleashed by the Sarasuka sect, who have also been wreaking havoc in Bauchi, Gombe and Plateau states. Our correspondent, Oroluwa Shonibare, reports.
Sarasuka in Hausa language means hack and kill. And for years, youth, mainly male, between the ages of 16 and 25, have since the late 80s been terrorizing communities in Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna and Plateau states. Journals have also been published on his link to politicians who have been accused of sponsoring the sect. The members of the Sarasuka take their responsibilities very seriously, smashing vehicles, shooting, stabbing, and maiming the victims. Recently, the group tore through Plateau State. Residents recall their experience of watching helplessly as the gang wreaked havoc.
My vehicle here was completely destroyed. My brother's vehicle here is destroyed also. They did a lot of things, thank God no life was lost. And then they were looking for fuel, to start, to set the houses here ablaze. God so kind, there wasn't any.
They were overheard saying that in case they've seen anybody, they should kill anybody they come across. We don't know what happened. We don't know. And as at that time, we tried to communicate it to the security, more especially Sector 2, and there was no rapid response.
Kaduna State is also feeling the effect of the Sarasuka. Here, residents have become so traumatized that businesses have become affected, with shops remaining locked.
It's a very unfortunate thing. It has never been bad like this for us in Kaduna. The population may not be as big as this, but we know that things are actually not good for some of these boys, but that is not enough for you to turn into a menace.
The police commands in both states say they are containing the threats as arrests have been made.
We charge more than 70 of them to court, and 80% of these suspects that were arrested were already in prison.
We have arrested them with 95 raps, of which suspected to be under him. We have also gotten 120 sachets of tramadol on them. Also on them were recovered 23 knives, very long one. We have also gotten assorted charms on these youths.
Also putting up a resistance is the Kaduna State Government. Reading the Riot Act to members of the gang here is the Solicitor General of the state, imposing a jail term for convicted members.
Upon commencement of the order, any person who manages or is a member of the said societies or groups commits an offense and shall be prosecuted in accordance with the laws of Kaduna State. This decisive measure to secure the lives and property of the residents of the state as enshrined in the Constitution of Nigeria.
There is a need to understand why all this started, and more importantly, how to deal with it. Because beyond the arrest and prescription is perhaps the need to look inwards as a society to fill the gaps. Oluwaseun Ibare, Channels Television News.